Hello, and welcome back to the original Larry D's Food for Thought. As always, we're going to be reading out of that old King James Bible. Going to be reading out of the Old Testament and from the New Testament to the law and to the testimony. Precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little. Okay. I'll also be going over a few scriptures today concerning the title. When the Lord come back, many people will perish. When the Lord come back, many people will perish. Okay? I'm going to share these scriptures with you right quick here. You can jot them down if you like. But I'm going to tell you something, people. God of the heaven come back the second time. He's not going to be playing any games. A lot of people say, oh, LD, Lord, come back. He going to come back rubbing people on the back and the shoulder and say, oh, come on, I love y'all. Let me tell you something. You better read this Bible, okay? Because when the Lord, he came first time as a lamb, all right? Meek and humble, all right? He died. He was crucified. He died for our sin, rose from the dead, and went on back to heaven. Okay, but when he come back the second time, which we know is near, he coming back as the Lion of Judah. Okay, and what does lions do? They rip and tear. And when the Lord come back, he's gonna rip and tear. We're gonna show you in these scriptures today. And I'm gonna tell you something. When we finish reading these scriptures today, if you pay attention and take heed to it, I know you saying yourself, hey, look, maybe I better take a second look at this thing. Okay? Because you do not want to be on the bad side of the Lord when he come back, people. I'm telling you, after we finish reading this today, look, I ask you, take heed. Okay? But anyway, I'm going to stop sharing these. We're going to go over these scriptures, see if we can get a little bit of understanding on it. Because I'm going to tell you something, God is Bible. He is nobody you want to be playing around with. You understand? Well, you'll see for yourself when we read these scriptures. All right? We're going to start this in Proverbs, okay? Show you a few things. Look, the Lord said, look, these some things he really hate and a whole lot of things he hate because he is sitting in heaven right now and believe you me, he is peeved, okay, at what's going on this earth because this man done corrupted himself. This man is so evil. Mm, it's bad. It's bad, okay? But yes, he's sitting in heaven and he's angry. People say, oh, Lord ain't angry. We're going to show you. All right. But we're going to start this in Proverbs. Proverbs, the sixth chapter. And I'm going to start reading at verse 16. And it reads, look, these six things doeth the Lord hate. Who is that said the Lord don't hate? Okay. Look, these six things doeth the Lord hate. Yeah, seven are an abomination unto him. Verse 17. A proud look, a lying tongue. Oh, LD, I just told a little white lie. A lie is a lie, ain't it? Okay, well, look, he said, a lying tongue and hands that shed innocent blood. Okay, a murderer. Okay, verse 18. And heart, a mind that devises wicked imaginations, feet that be swift and running to mischief, always running to do something evil. Okay, look. 19, a false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among brethren. Okay, now, verse 20, my son, keep thy father's commandments and forsake not the law of thy mother. Okay, look, he said, keep those commandments. If you love me, keep my commandments. Okay, and what is that? That is the royal law. Okay. Now, let's go a little further here. Let's go right over here to Proverbs, the first chapter, Proverbs 1. And I'm going to start reading at verse 23. Because I'm going to tell you something, man. This people, man, is so evil. They done turn to their own righteousness rather than seeking the Lord's righteousness. Okay, well, look at it. This is a Proverbs 1. Start reading at verse 23. Okay, look what the Lord say. Look, turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. You call out unto the Lord. He said he will show you great and mighty things that you know not, and he will open up your understanding to this holy word. Okay, but you got to call upon him. Yep. Verse 24. Because I have called, Lord said, he called, and ye refused. Okay. I have stretched out my hand, and no man regardeth. But ye have set at naught, you have set at nothing all my counsel, and with none of my reproofs. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. See that? You mess around and get yourself in a bind. You get scared. Look, you gonna say, "Oh Lord, help me." Look, what the Lord said, he gonna kick back and he gonna laugh at you because you didn't want to do nothing he said. All right. Well, look at that. Verse 27. When your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. See that? So hey, you ain't doing nothing the Lord say. You call upon him, he ain't gonna pay no attention to you. Okay. Look, they shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. For that they hated knowledge, didn't want to hear nothing the Lord had to say, and did not choose the fear of the Lord. What the Lord had written over in Ecclesiastes 12 chapter. Oh, duty of man is to fear God and keep his commandments. But you don't want to choose that fear. Okay. Look. They would none of my counsel. They despise all my reproofs. So you have to take a look in the mirror at yourself and ask yourself, man, what am I doing? Okay. But let's go further. Let's go right over here to Isaiah. Let's go to Isaiah because them days I told you when the Lord come back, he won't be playing no games. He's gonna take this earth down. And if you ain't been doing what he say, look, you'll see. This is Isaiah 66. I'm going to start reading at verse 15. Look, and it reads, For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger. See that? Told you. To render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. All right, verse 16. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh. When he come like talking about pleading, he ain't talking about, oh, please do this and do that. Like I said, we're going to see what his pleading is. Look, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. You see that? Lord coming back here doing some killing people. He ain't coming back here patting nobody on the shoulder. All right, look, that's why I say get on his good side. But time is short. All right, 17. They that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the garden behind one tree in the midst. What tree is that? Oh, Satan that hide behind, oh, Satan the devil, doing your devilment. Look, eating swine's flesh. Oh, eating what? What is swine? That's that pig, that pork you eating. Okay, you say, I don't think the Lord gonna bother me for eating a pork chop. You want to bet? Look, right here is future people. This is when the Lord come. You got people telling you, hey, you can eat anything. All you got to do is pray over it. You better put the eye suspect on them. You see what the Lord said right here. Okay, eating swine's flesh and the abomination and the mouse shall be consumed together, said the Lord. What are you gonna do? He's gonna take you out too. All right, look, verse 18. For I know thy works, he know what you're doing, and thy thoughts, he reads your mind. He made that big brain of yours. You think he can't read it? You know what you're thinking. All right. It shall come that I will gather all nations and tongues, and they shall come and see my glory. This God ain't gonna be playing, people. All right. But let's go a little further. Let's go right over here to Jeremiah right quick. Excuse me. We'll go to Jeremiah 25. And I'm gonna start reading. Let's see. I'm reading at verse 30. See, is that right? Yeah, verse 30. And it reads, therefore, prophesy thou against them all these words. Tell Jeremiah to prophesy against them all these words. Look, shall, oh, and say unto them, the Lord shall roar from on high, and utter his voice from his holy habitation. He shall mightily roar upon his habitation. He shall give a shout as they that tread the grapes against all the inhabitants of the earth. Verse 31, a noise shall come even to the ends of the earth, for the Lord has a controversy with the nations. See that? He will plead with all flesh. What do we just read over there in Isaiah? He will give them that are wicked to the sword, saith the Lord. All right, verse 32. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, behold, evil shall go forth from nation to nation, and a great whirlwind shall be raised up from the coast of the earth, and the slain of the Lord, listen, shall be at that day from one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth. They shall not be lamented, neither gathered nor buried. They shall be dung upon the earth. It's going to be so many dead bodies, they ain't going to be able to bury them all. They'll be laying up on the earth like dung, boy. You think the Lord coming back patting somebody on the shoulder? You see what he's saying right here? You can believe this word, all right? But let's go a little bit further here. Let's go over here to go to Micah right quick. I'll show you this. Let's see. Micah's one of them little small books. What in the world? Okay. Here we are. Going to Micah, the 5th chapter. Micah 5. And let's see. I'm going to start reading at verse 9. And it reads, look, thine hand shall be lifted up upon thine adversaries, and all thine enemies shall be cut off. Look, you enemy of the Lord, you enemy doing what he say? Yeah, you enemy, you adversary. All right. And it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord, that I will cut off thy horses out of the midst of thee. I will destroy thy chariots, and I will cut off the cities of thy land, and throw down all thy strongholds. And I will cut off witchcraft out of thine hand. You know, all those doing smooth sayers and palm readers and all them cats like that. Look, and thou shalt have no more soothsayers. Thy graven images also will I cut off, and thy standing images out of the midst of thee, and thou shalt no more worship the work of thine hands. And I will pluck up thy groves out of the midst of thee, so will I destroy thy cities. And I will execute vengeance in anger. Okay, told you. And fury upon the heathen, upon the nations, such as they have not heard. Man, Lord gonna wreak some serious havoc on him, man. So bad, man. People ain't never heard of this. Okay? But just letting you know, God come back the second time, buddy. You want to be on his good side, all right? That's why I encourage you. That's why I'm reading this stuff, man. I hope put some fear in you. Say, hey, look, maybe I better take a second look at this thing. Start doing what the Lord say. Because if you on his bad side, you're going to get caught up in this. All right? There's a way of escape. Okay? But you better start reading this book and doing what it say. Okay? But let's go a little bit further here. Let's turn right over here to Habakkuk. I'm going to show you what Habakkuk said. This cat, man, he was scared. I mean, he was in fear. Okay? Now, let's read this here. This is Habakkuk, the 3rd chapter. And let's see, I'm going to start reading at verse 1. And it reads, look, a prayer of Habakkuk, the prophet upon Sheganoth. O Lord, let's see what he said. O Lord, I have heard thy speech. I heard you, Lord, and was afraid. Lord, revive thy work in the midst of the years. In the midst of the years, make known in wrath, remember mercy. Said, Lord, doing all your wrath, please remember some mercy. Okay, look. See where we at here. Verse 11. Yeah. All right. The sun and the moon stood still in their habitation at the light of thine arrows. They went at the shining of thy glittering spear. Thou did march through the land in indignation. Thou did thresh the heathens in anger. He thrashed those nations in anger. Okay. Verse 16, and look at what he said. Look at what Becca said right here. Look here. When I heard, look at he said, I heard thy speech, Lord. But look at he said, when I heard, my belly trembled, my lips quivered at the voice. His lips quivered at the Lord's voice. Boy, he was scared, okay? Rottenness entered into my bones, and I trembled in myself, that I might rest in the day of trouble. What he saying here? He said he hope he dead when that time come. Okay, look, when he cometh up unto the people, he will invade them with his troops. Whew, man, told you, get on his good side. All right, but let's go a little bit further here. Let's go right over here to let's see, let's go to Zechariah right quick. A little something I want to read out of there. I say Zechariah 14. And I'm start reading at verse, let's see here. Verse 1. And it reads, I'm at the right place. Here we go. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, and the spoil and thy spoil shall be divided in the midst of thee, for I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle. Look, and the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled, and the women ravished, and half of the city shall go forth into captivity, and the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city. Then shall the Lord go forth and fight against those nations, as when he fought in the day of battle. Okay, and his feet shall stand in that day upon the Mount of Olives, which is before Jerusalem on the east, and the Mount of Olives shall cleave in the midst thereof towards the east and towards the west. And there shall be a very great valley, and half of the mountain shall remove towards the north, and half towards the south. And ye shall flee to the valley of the mountain, for the valley of the mountain shall reach unto Azel. Yeah, ye shall flee, lad, like as you fled from before the earthquake in the days of Uzziah, king of Judah. And the Lord my God shall come, and all the saints with thee. Okay, so if you be so blessed, you start doing what the Lord is saying, you be so blessed and make that first resurrection. When the Lord crack that sky and he make his descent from heaven, and you be so blessed to go up to meet him in the air, you'll be able to come back down on the Mount of Olives with him. Okay, but you got to do what he say now. Okay, look. Oh, verse 9. And the Lord shall be king over all the earth. In that day shall there be one Lord, and his name one. So, where's the Lord going to be when he leave heaven? He coming right down on this earth. He going to be here for 1,000 years. And you want to be with him? You got to be here on this earth. So, you talking about going to heaven? I don't know what you're going to do. You be up there all by yourself. Oh, the Lord ain't going to be there. Not Jesus. Okay. So, get that going to heaven thing out of your mind, man. You won't escape this stuff unless you start doing what you need to do. All right. But let's go further here. Let's run over here to Revelation. I've got a couple more places after this here. Let's go to Revelation, the 6th chapter. Revelation 6. And I'm gonna start reading at verse 1. And it reads, and I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard as it were the noise of thunder, one of the four beasts saying, come and see. Okay, come and see. Verse 8. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death. And hell followed with him, and power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth to kill with sword, and with anger, and with death, and with the beast of the earth. Verse 15. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains. Why would they do that? Verse 16, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb. Who is the Lamb? That's Jesus, people. And why these cats want to hide in them rocks and fall on them? Because they know they done did evil. And you do not want to be in that group. You understand? Look, verse 17, for the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? Can you stand in that day? You ain't been doing what the Lord say you won't. All right. But let's go back to Isaiah right quick. It's got a couple. Let's see one more place after this. Isaiah 34. I'm gonna read. Let's see what we got here. Isaiah 34. And start reading. Let's see, verse 1. Look, come near, you nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world, and all things that come forth of it. He talking to everybody. All right. Look, for the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all thy armies. He has utterly destroyed them. He has delivered them to the slaughter. This is future we reading here, people. Okay? Look. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. Ooh, man. And all the host of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down as the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as the fallen fig from the fig tree. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Ooh, behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judge me. The sword of the Lord is filled with blood. Why? All that killing. All right. It is made fat with fatness and with the blood of lambs and goats and with the fat of kidneys of rams. And he ain't talking about literal lambs and goats and kidneys of rams. No, he talking about people, okay? Look, for the Lord has a sacrifice in Bozrah and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. Look, and the unicorns shall come down with them, and the bullocks with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood. Ooh, and their dust made fat with fatness. But look, man, the Lord had a place written in other place, man. He said, look, you have so much killing done, man, the blood is going to reach up to the horse's bridle for at least 200 miles. That's a whole lot of killing, people. Okay? Look, verse 8, for it is the day of the Lord's vengeance and the year of recompense for the controversy of Zion. Zion is Jerusalem. He going to show who Jerusalem belong to. And it ain't those Israelis over there neither. Why you think they always fighting in that war with somebody? That land don't belong to them. Okay? All right. But let's go read this last spot right quick. Let's go over here to Matthew's right quick, because I want to show you. A lot of people say, man, shoot, well, well, the Lord can come any day, man. I want to be ready. Okay, yeah. But certain things got to happen. He can't come anytime. Certain things got to happen. Okay, don't nobody know this time. Don't nobody know the time. Well, look, this is Matthew 24, and I'm going to start reading at verse 35. And it read, look, heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall not pass away. So you can best better believe all that we just read. Okay? It is going to happen. Okay. If you don't believe it, go back and read the Old Testament, see what the Lord did to all them at Egypt, Sodom and Gomorrah. I mean, all that people he took out. You saw it came to pass. You know it happened. Which make you think this stuff that he written about the future ain't gonna happen. Look, I'd rather be safe, do what the Lord say, than to be caught up. Okay. Look, verse 36. But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. Only somebody know that day and that hour is the Father, okay? But we know that it is soon. Oh, we see things that's been prophesied in this Bible, and we looking at it right today. And if you have some eyes to see, you would see it as well. Okay, all this stuff taking place over there across that water. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But this is the thing, people. I wanted to read these scriptures to you. I'm hoping that you receive a little bit of fear in you, that you will indeed sit down, read this book, Do everything that the Lord had written in here for you to do. Okay? And try your best to get on his best side and stay on his best side. So when he comes, as we read, he will not be playing any games. Okay? So with that food for thought, think on these scriptures and words throughout the course of the day. And until next time, peace.